Hello and welcome to this week's weekly Forex watch list. And on our watch list this week are 5 pairs that have caught our attention. They are Aussie Swiss, first of all. This one caught our attention actually last week with the pin bar against the key line up here, 0.76, which also happens to be the top end of this rising wedge, which has been forming for the past year nearly. Is in a constant downtrend, and this is a bearish pattern in a downtrend. So this one has caught our attention, and we've given it a bearish bias to look for potential shorts in coming sessions. Next on our list is Euro Aussie. This pair has got something similar to Aussie Swiss, although this one now is a falling wedge, which again is the opposite of a rising wedge. And in a long-term trend, very similar. It's last week it had a inverted hammer candle, and the week before it had a pin bar upon the key line and also the back end of this trend line, which is the bottom part of the fallen wedge. Again, this is a bullish pattern in a trend. We're waiting to see how this plays out, and let's move on to the next pair. Kiwi Swiss. Another Swiss type pair, similar to Aussie Swiss, another rising wedge and massively long-term trend line. This one actually broke below the wedge, is currently came back up within the past 2 weeks, formed not the prettiest of patterns, but a nice tweezer top pattern, and it's currently also doing a double top type pattern whilst testing the back end of that breakout. This one is on watch for a potential short this week as well. Next on the list is dollar yen. This one is a potential for a long bias. The reason being is we have a nice sort of zone here between 113 and 114. This has been historically respected, and you can see here this was the last time it was sort of touched, and we had a pin bar last week and the week before, meaning buyers are stepping in around this area, so the potential for it to go higher is quite high. We have nice deceleration, and it just looks like a decent enough potential long bias. And finally, we have another one, which is gold, XAU-USD. This one is obviously dollar denominated, and obviously it's a commodity. Last week we had a nice outside reversal, trapping longs and then bringing in the shorts, and also triggering the longs with their stops just below the previous week's candle. It also closed below the 1200 key psychological level, so a lot of traders will see this as a continuation trend of the bearish trend from middle of last year. That was July of 2016. It's been considerably lower lows, lower highs, another lower low, and it's just made a lower high. This means it could have another lower low, going potentially to 1100, and beyond that you're looking roughly 990 as the next major area. That could be this year, potentially July, August time, depending on how it goes. If this trend does indeed continue on downwards, comes down, breaks below, comes back up, tests, breaks back below, comes down, and maybe be an area to look for potential long. It would be down in 990 area. I say potentially very tentatively because it was last tested back in 2008. So we need to see a nice, clean, clear rejection down in this area in order to think of taking any longs. But in the meantime, for this week, we have a short bias. So thanks very much for joining, watching the video, and we hope to see you next week. Thanks.